6th grade, page 304 today, and we are starting a new chapter on measurements. Okay, at the top of the page there are some reminder measurements if you need a refresher on what the standard ones that we've memorized in the past are, but I'm not going to take time to go through all those on the video. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is converting measurements. I wrote out a few of these on this side. So remember, you can always use your, is it going from smaller to larger or larger to smaller to help you know if you're going to be dividing or multiplying. So to remind you of that, smaller is crossed arms in, larger is out. So if we're starting larger and we're getting to smaller, we're going to multiply. So it's yards and inches. So you'd say how many inches are in a yard, and it's 36. So to come up with your answer, you do 5 times 36 equals 180. And you may use your calculators on this if you want to. There's probably several of these you won't need to use a calculator for. All right, feet to yards. Feet is smaller, so feet to yards means we divide. So how many feet are in a yard? 3. So divide 12 by 3, and you get 4. Okay? Next one, 2 miles to feet. You're going larger to smaller, so you're going to multiply, and you should know that 5,280 feet in a mile, and if you've got 2 of them, so you're multiplying by 2, and you get 10,560. Let's see if I can fit it in my little blank here. 10,560. All right, the next one is inches to yards. So we're going smaller to large, so we're going to divide. How many inches are in a yard is 36, so just do 108 divided by 36 equals 3. All right, this last one's a little bit weird because it has the fraction in it. So let me explain to you how that works. So you're changing yards to feet. Now you could change this to an improper fraction and set it up that way, but it's actually a little bit easier to think about. Yards, it takes 3 feet to equal a yard. So that's in thirds. So 1 foot compared to a yard would be 1/3. 2 feet would be 2/3. 3 feet would be a yard. So if I have 2 out of 3 for the yard, that's 2 feet there. So 1 yard is 3 feet, and then your 2 is another 2, so you have a total of 5 feet. Okay, the next part you're going to be doing is some conversions, but it's set up a little bit differently. It looks like this. What you're going to be doing is adding and subtracting. Now, you may need to borrow, and when you're finished adding or subtracting, you need to make sure that it's in simplest form, and I'll show you that when we get to it. All right, so the first one's pretty simple, just straight adding. 6 plus 3 is 9 inches. 3 plus 2 is 5 feet. That's the answer. There's no changing in that one. All right, the next one, 1 plus 2 is 3 feet. 5 plus 1 is 6 yards. Now, we know that 3 feet equals 1 yard. So we need to change that. So this we're going to cross off, and we're going to change the whole thing to 7 yards. So we're going to take the 3 feet and change it to 1 yard, and then add it to the 6 yards to make it a total of 7 yards. All right, so the last one I wrote up here is subtraction, and I wrote this one because it has borrowing. You have 7 inches minus 9 inches. You cannot do that, so I need to borrow from my feet. So I'm going to change my feet to 10. Now, when I borrowed a foot, 1 foot, but I borrowed how many inches? Well, how many inches are in a foot? 12. So I borrowed 12 inches. So I need to add that 12 inches to the 7 that's already there, okay? So if you take 12 plus 7, you get 19. So now I have 19 inches minus 9 inches, which is 10 inches. And then I have 10 feet minus 5 feet, which is 5 feet, okay? And that finishes that one. All right, so today's assignment is 1 to 36, then you can stop. And that is that for this page. So I will see you for the next one.